Jamie back from Inky and Scrappy, back with my Let's Start Stamping series. Today, showing you a fun fast fold. I promise this one's probably the easiest fast fold I've done in a long while. So we're gonna start with an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock, so an A2 size base. That I am using Accent Opaque 120 pound cover stock. It's got some strength to it, so it's going to be extra heavy to give us that really nice base that we want for this one. And we are going to cut off an extra inch from our one side here. So I'm just going to cut this down to 1 inch. So it ends up being 7.5 by 5.5 inches. And then we're going to bring it in our scoreboard for this one, and we are going to score it at 4 1/4, like a normal A2 size card. What would have been the middle, and then we're going to score it over here at 1 inch. And so we are going to just fold this one, this way. And then this one, we are just going to give it a gentle fold. We don't need it to fold all the way down. We just need it to kind of have a little bit of a bend or a crease in our score marker. And then we can cut our other pieces that will go on top of this one. So for this one, we're going to want another piece of that heavy 120 pound card weight. I'm going to cut this one at 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and keep in mind you can cut this. That feels crooked to me. So 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So you could do this one in a circle. You could do this one in a square. Oh my gosh, words are not working well for me today. And then we are going to I'm going to do some pattern paper to go on top of that one. And then, of course, we're going to have to cut our stamp panel down to, I was planning on doing like a 3 inch by 3 inch stamp panel for this one. We're good there. Now, remember we did what do we do? I like both of these. It's so hard to choose. Okay. We cut an inch off of our front. So normally it's 4 1/4. It's going to be 3 1/4 for this top piece here. And I want to have a little bit of a border, so I'm going to cut that to 3 inches wide. Is this 3 inches? 5 inches? It is. Well, I want 5 1/4. Okay. So we're going to go 3 inches wide by 5 1/4. So that gives me a 1/4 inch, so an 1/8 inch all the way around. Let's get that one. And then we're going to want, sorry, I have another piece of pattern paper here. And we're going to cut an inch off of this one as well. So we just want an inch on this one. This is going to give us that inch to play with on the side. Keep in mind you could do a little bit over an inch and then do a fancy edge on it if you wanted to. You wouldn't have to do a straight cut here if you didn't want to. 1 inch by, and we're going to do this one at 5.5. I want this one to go top to bottom. And that is it for our paper pieces. So I'm using Graphic 45 Sunkissed 8x8 paper collection today. I'm pretty sure this one was a freebie from scrapbook.com last summer. Or, I don't know, or something. You know how they do, like, scrapbook.com has freebies all the time. It covers the cost of shipping. That's how I feel about it. But, you know, because they never offer free shipping, but they usually have freebies. So, it's a wash. So for this one, we're just going to glue our pieces onto our base. So this one is inspired by Rihanna, and I'm not going to get her last name right. So she is a roadie, and she sent me a birthday card that had this fun fold. So I thought I would show it and share it with you guys. So if Rihanna is watching, hey, thanks for the card. And we are going to pop this one on there. And then we'll put this one on top of this one. And then we're going to trim off that white little border that says I didn't cut properly. I don't know why one would say such a thing. It's inevitable. Does anyone else struggle with? It's why I use die cuts, to be honest. I don't have to worry about a die cut not reading the ruler wrong, or moving your paper wrong, or wiggling. I tend to wiggle a lot, I think. Just a teeny tiny little hair. See, like, just hairs. Just a hog, what my grandpa would always say, a frog hair. Fine has a frog hair. I didn't know frogs had hair. There you go. So this one, I'm going to bring in the score style tape. I want it to have a really good hold. I only want it to have hold on the one side. So making sure that my fish are going in the right direction before I flip it over and add tape. I use the score style tape just because it has that instant adhesive, but it also is going to be a really strong hold. I'm also going to come in with some liquid glue. This is going to make that hold nice and not permanent. The goal on this one is not to get it on this part of the card. So then I'm just going to layer this over and kind of give myself an equal border on the top and the one side. Put that down. Make sure it is mostly straight. And then we will burnish that glue in, let it dry a little bit. But because we added that fold on the side, it's going to hold our card closed, and it just makes opening it kind of fun because it just kind of pops open. So keep in mind that you might want to do your sentiment on the inside before you add on this panel. I'm a rebel. I will deal with my inside sentiment, when I get there. Obviously, I already have ink on here, and I don't even have ink on my hands yet. I must have ink on my mat, which I just washed. But anyways, so I will probably add some pretty paper onto the inside with my sentiment on it. It happens. So that is our card base ready to go. And if you wanted to see, this is the second take on my video. Yeah, this one doesn't have the ink on the inside yet. I forgot to do my back fold. I'm just being honest with you. I'll end up with 2 cards today. It's all good. So I'm bringing in Whimsy Stance, Catch the Wave. I picked up this one on like super clearance last year, I think. I think it was last year. It was, or earlier this year. It was a song. I think it was a few dollars, under $5. Surf, Catch the Wave. I like the little octopus. I wish I had the sentiment that said something about having 8 arms, because then I could slap 8 people at the same time, but I don't. So, such a slave. I cut my base piece down just a little bit here. I'm gonna come back and scale it down when I get closer to get to that 3, because I want my base panel to be like 3 by 3 inches, I think. And so I think we're gonna end up having to cut off a little bit, but I think we're gonna be close. At least when I line it up, we might have to cut off a little bit of the wave there. And that one there, I suppose. So I cut it at like 3.5. Yeah, it's like gonna be a little over 3. We'll make it work. Okay. So I'm gonna pop this one on there. And then we are going to stamp this one with some piece of Horton Crafts Cloud9 solid black ink. It has been my go-to lately for watercolor ink, or ink, watercolor, alcohol ink marker coloring, just because it seems to dry really fast. I used to love some other ones, as you know, and they just aren't what they used to be. And so I've kind of ended up switching to this one. And I've been liking this one, even if it's not as black as some of the other ones that I've used in the past. Did we stamp all good this time? I think we're good there. Okay. We didn't get to the, I will have to, I moved it before I saw that. So I will come in with a VersaFine, no, either a Micron. After I'm done coloring, I will use the Micron. There's one that's Copic. Copic used to make one. I have yet to find it again. Mine is, the tip is not the greatest on it, so I'll come in with the Micron when we're all done and touch that up. I can also add gel pen. I can't say words today. Gel pen in there and add color on top of that if you so choose, which I might do with this one today. So I pulled my markers already. I'm using B115, B111, and then I'm going to bring in a purpley blue color. So I'm going to go with BV38 and V38. And my peachy color today is YR29 and YR25. And Y43 is kind of that, it's like a cream color. It kind of goes with my other, I just figured I needed a third tone in there. And I haven't decided if I'm coloring the background on this one or just coloring the image. And I needed extra colors because I needed to color the catch and wave. So I think are going to make, I don't know. I have opinions on colors, and these aren't my normal, but I wanted them to go with paper. So we're going to start with an octopus, and I'm going to do some fairly simple coloring on them today. Coming in with my darkest orange. To go around all of the little dots on him. It's a water drop. Give him some sinister little eyes, I guess. And the little tentacles. I get lost in the spirals sometimes. When you're looking at it over here, you're not sure which side is the spiral, right? It kind of looks like both sides of the spiral. Okay, this one. All the little tentacle pieces. I might end up coming in with some gel pen on some of those. I don't know. The gel pen would be, like the glazed gel pens would be kind of cool on there. If you didn't know that you couldn't get the glazed, as far as I know, they haven't come back out with the glazed gel pens. I have found some 3D, I think they're called nail art pens or something like that. They're not the main brand. They're like off-brand that kind of have that same jelly puff to them that work out. Okay. Did I get all of this tentacle stuff? There's some shadow in here. Give them some dark orange eyebrows, and then we're going to come in with our lighter tone of orange here and blend that one in. water drop. And trying to make sure I'm on the right side here. I think I am. Do I want the underside to be coordinating color, I think it's in blue. And so this time I'm going to go over the whole area that I went over the first time with them and color it again. It's going to darken up that first layer of light orange and kind of give me a third tone in there with only using 2 markers. You can do this with 1 marker and go 3 layers on the outside, 2 layers, and then the 1 layer. If you want to get that multi-tonal look, I think I want to do, okay, coming in with that dark blue, typical. Okay, I think we're going to do the surfboard dark blue. I haven't decided yet. In per penny, in per pound. This one would have been fun to stamp onto that pattern paper and add that pattern onto the surfboard. So it would be a fairly simple cut. If I don't like how I colored it, that's where we're going, right? Okay, I'm glad we had this to talk. So I'm going with my darkest. Now I'm going to go in with my lighter tone. I'm going to use the bigger side because it lays down more color faster. And so again with a second layer over the top, it's going to darken up the other one. It's going to also, if you're going over that first layer, it's going to lighten up that first layer a little bit. It pushes it into the paper a little bit. And you get a better blend. What do we want? I'm going to go with this super dark one on my fin here. And then for the underside of my little, I'm looking for what I want. I'm trying to decide if I do the catch with the dark blue and do this one in orange. And then do this in the background, or add these in to these kind of the water drops. I think we'll do this as I want to blend this one with the purple to kind of give it the 2-tone look. I should do every other. So I'm going to do this one on the outside and then the inside every other to kind of break it up a little bit. We'll see if it looks dumb. It looks dumb. And then I'm going in with that purple. I'm going to go over these where I want them to kind of blend together, and it's going to give me that transition. As long as your markers are, can I say, in the same lightness or darkness, they're going to give you an okay blend if you're mixing colors that go well together, right? So a pink with the blue over the blue will give you that purple, a purple shade as well. This one's just going to give you a different shade of the blue purple, and kind of going from there. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Go kind of in the middle on this one, and go on the top of this one, bottom of this one. And I kind of want to make sure that I'm a little bit further down than I want that purple to be, because when you go over it with blue, you want to mix those colors right on that letter. And if you didn't get enough color the first time, you can definitely go back and hit it again. This one is going to be the top and the bottom. And we'll do that on this one as well. And we'll do that kind of down on the bottom too. I was debating going with the dark blue, but I think I'm going to use the dark blue on his tentacles because I think that'll stick out a lot more. I'm probably doing this one in the wrong order, but any filters. Ah! Mixed it up. That's right. That one's weight was just riding a little bit different of a weight, I guess. Okay. More of it. It's kind of a fun, almost like a tie-dye look to it. It reminds me of those heat wave shirts back in the day. So, you know, if you're a child of, was it the 90s? Early 90s, I think? I don't know. I didn't have one of them. My friends had some of them. I always thought they were cool. Like, you put your hand on them and then they'd eat and get snooze. Oh, look. I'm supposed to be gone, alright. Anyways, you put your hand on them, and like if it was hot or cold, it would change the color. I guess it was heat sensitive dye. Whatever it was. Do I want to do? I'm just gonna do a little bit in his eye to kind of give him some dimension there. We can definitely go and trace them if you wanted to. I think it'll be too much, and so I think I'm gonna leave the background white there. I'm gonna come in with my dark one here. This is where I struggle. It looks like I need to be. Okay. I think his thrills, right? So we look at this one. I think I did it backwards. Oh shoot. Alright. Do. Told you I was gonna get lost today. I either have to cut out more than I was planning on cutting out, or some white gel pen. One or the other. I'll decide later. And I'm just going to add some little dots in there. Same with these. I'm just going to kind of add the dots with the darker. I think I'm just going with the dark blue. I don't think I'm going to bring in the second tone, just because there's so little of it to do, and I want to cover up that orange if I was over it, and I think the darker color is going to give me better coverage there. And this one, I'm going to dot in. Try to dot in, I guess. Those. And put it there and do little dots on his head. Do I like his brows orange or do I want them blue? I'm going to put them blue. And his tongue. What color tongues do octopuses have? Are they inky? Because they ink. I don't know. I'm just asking. Silly question. I don't know. We'll go with the red. I feel weird for making it dark. Okay. That goes there. And so I need to fix my mocha. I don't think it looks, well, it doesn't look horrible, but it doesn't look right. So let's push it back with our white. A clear one. See if we can push that in there a little bit. I pushed it back a little bit, but not horribly a lot, so there we go. It's fixed now. Alright, So this one, I'll come back and do the velvet on there yet. But let me cut this one down. So I know that I want it to be 3 inches wide. And I need it to be 3 inches tall. I think we're going to be close, so I'm going to cut this down as far as I can. I'm going to get it as close as I can to this one without cutting off any parts of the image. Do just a little teeny tiny one. So I could have gone a little bit narrower on my piece, but ultimately it's going to work. I see that I colored outside the line up here too. Nobody knows the trouble I cause. Oh, oops. Is that out loud? Okay. I'm just going to come in here and kind of follow that letter. Finish this one here. That's how we fix the semi-par stamp job. Solid roll. So you definitely could come in with like any of the gel pen style things and add some bling and some pizzazz to it. I think this one might be. The smelly gel pens aren't going to have the glaze, but I think they're metallic. But this one has metallic to it. I think that one is just a flat. I'm just hoping for the actual. This one's got some glitter to it. So I feel like the surfboard needs some pizzazz. Just going to add a little bit of glitter. Maybe add some dots to it. This would have been, this color, or the gel pen would have, like the glitter gel pen would have been really cute on all of his little tentacles there. And so ultimately, it just adds a little bit of shimmer and shine to it. Anyways, now we are just going to come in and we are going to add this onto our card face. Like so. So we're just going to glue this onto top there. And this one kind of has our sentiment already on the stamped image. This design lays really good for some of those bigger sentiment stamps that don't really need a whole lot. You can definitely make the paper do all the work for you. I'm regretting my purple choice at this point in time, but that's okay. I should have just gone with that color blue. Any hoosers, such as life. And so, surf, catch the wave. And then we can add a sentiment onto the inside. We could do a happy birthday. Life is a wave. It's like a wave. You can't change the way it breaks, but you can change the way you ride it. And there's the big surf would work as well on there. You can go with a little bit smaller. You could put this in a circle. Toss that on top. I think we're going to go with the nice little life is like a wave. You can't change the way it breaks, but you can change the way you ride it. And because I've already put my image on there, and I am nothing short of just finding a way around, not thinking ahead, because that's my MO. If you've been here, you know I don't plan these things out. That would be like, yeah, no. That requires way too much forethought on your part. So I think we're straight there. I'll line this one up and We're going to stamp this one with some VersaFine Onyx Black. Sure to give me a good impression on those sentiments. What I like so much. Oh, we're going to be that way today. Let's see how it rolls. Okay. Let's grab. Because I said I needed to be difficult. It decided to be difficult right on. Let's see how you roll. Okay. Please behave. Alright, well, you know what that means. That means we find a piece of paper. Let's see. I'm looking for a lightish blue. Well, this one, that one would work. I thought there was like a light blue one in here. That one will work. Okay, we're going to cut this one down. Let's get lighter on this side. I'm going to start with a 2-inch piece and then I'll cut it down from here. So, we're going to plop this one on here. Oh, that is just not working for me well today. Oh, I got the wrong ink. That would explain that one. No comment. Since I'm shifting this over, I'm just going to make sure that it wasn't straight when I put it on there. But, you know, I didn't clean my ink off, so. Do one more ink on that one. A much better stamp impression than we got the first time around. And then I am just going to use my guide here. So I'm going to, my last letter, I'm just butting up to the plastic guide on there. It's going to give me a nice little border. And it'll be fairly even as long as I follow that principle all the way around. There we go. I'm trying to be careful not to smudge it. And so then this one I'm just going to add to that top, you know, cover up what didn't work for me. As I drop it, get glue everywhere. Pull in the eraser. And that completes our card for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. So surf, catch the wave, stay cool. If it is hot where you are, it is hot where I'm at. So this girl is going to go milk some bossies today. All right, see you later. Bye.